I am feeling good today. It is time to build. I am excited about this. We're making progress. And so in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit about the smart contract behind FrameSwap. I already have this kind of ready, and I already had kind of like a very experienced smart contract developer already review this and go over this just to make sure it's all safe and all good, because whenever you're moving assets around on the blockchain, like you really want to make sure you're doing things correctly. You don't want any bugs and that kind of thing. So I'm going to kind of share how this is going to work. This is a pretty simple smart contract. And if you don't know, smart contracts are code that runs on the blockchain. And what's really cool about them is that they're immutable, which means they won't change. They're transparent. Anyone can see what the code is. It's open source and it goes on the blockchain. And so then everyone can kind of verify, like, this is how the program is going to work. It's going to move money in this way. And people can be, kind of make sure they're happy with what it's doing because it's, handling funds. And then they can know with certainty that this smart contract is not going to change, so they can trust it. And that's the cool thing about the blockchain and smart contracts. And so what this smart contract is going to do is, now if you remember with FrameSwap, we're going to make it so that users can swap from USDC to DGen. And this contract is going to kind of handle that swap. It's going to handle them moving those assets. And kind of the main way it's doing that is through Uniswap. Uniswap is the main DEX for swapping. And so it's actually connecting right here to the Uniswap smart contracts to do the swap. But we need this kind of like this wrapper smart contract to give us approval, to give us the ability to move this money on behalf of our user. And so kind of how this will work is we have an ERC20, which is our USDC. And before the user can use this smart contract at all, they're going to have to approve our contract. So this contract will have an address, and the user will approve it in FrameSwap. And this is the one transaction that we'll need, is just this approving, right? And that's how I was trying to make it as simple and easy as possible, where there's not many wallets, popping up. So they'll just have to take the one step to approve us being able to move their USDC. And then we just have one other function, which is swapping. So then, they'll have the amount they want to swap. That's the amount in. We'll put the recipient. That's the person who's swapping. And then we also can pass the requirement of how much money they should, how much DGen they should get out. And for this simple smart contract, I'm just hard coding. I'm just hard coding the addresses. These are actually different because I was doing some testing on testnet, but this is what this will be hard coded to once I actually deploy this. Just to make it simple, I can do more iterations of this to add more features, make this so that you can maybe do more tokens, things like that. But to start out, we're just hard coding it to those two different tokens. And the other really important thing about this function that's swapping is it's only owner, which means only the person that owns the smart contract, which will be me, has the ability to call this function. And that's how behind the scenes I can call this function. So you can imagine in a frame, the user will just click swap. They won't have to do anything with the wallet, but I'll have the ability to behind the scenes call this swap function. I'll pay the gas for them, and I'll do the swap behind the scenes. So as you can see, these couple lines are actually doing the transfer of the token, and then actually doing the swap through Uniswap. And then that would actually give the new tokens to the user. I mean, this is what's so cool about, smart contracts, crypto. I mean, come on, like in a couple lines to be making a swap, to be sending tokens to somebody, to be moving assets around. Like technically you could be moving thousands of dollars in just a couple lines ago. Now, come on, that's pretty awesome. Now, the other thing you'll see here is that I have a FrameSwap fee. Now, this swap fee is just going to be 0.15%. So it's just a very small swap fee, and that's just going to be kind of my take rate for building this and giving this swap service. And so this get fee function kind of helps with that. And then because we're taking a fee, we're going to be accumulating the input token, which in this case is USDC. So we're going to be having that token be held in this contract. And so we need a withdraw function, which is also only owner. And so whenever, I have enough of a balance in here, I can call this withdraw function to take those funds from the fees. But otherwise, this is pretty simple, right? Like the pool fee is here, so we can track that. This is where in the function we do token in, which is USDC, token out is dgen. And hopefully it should be pretty straightforward. So kind of have this smart contract already. And so kind of the next step for me is to actually build out the frames, build out the buttons that actually interact with the smart contract. And so we have a little bit of work to do. So I will get back to it and hope this video was interesting to you as you kind of see what this building process looks like. See you in another one.